Hey guys, welcome back to another video of Impossible Mowers, and in today's video we're going to be servicing the heck out of this Poulan, just kind of going through it, making sure it's dialed in, because we got a lot of work that we're going to be doing on the channel with this unit, and I want to make sure it's running nice and clean. So without further ado, stay tuned. Like I said in today's video, guys, we're going to be dolling this thing up. I'm hoping we can grease the axle shafts, put a new fuel filter on it, clean out the motor, just kind of do some small caretaker stuff, because it's misfiring a little bit, and I think it's because the fuel filter is just pretty old. It's a HIPAA filter I've had for a long time. And yeah, just pretty much just taking care of the old unit, making sure it's dialed through, and we'll show you guys how to do some stuff if you're new to the channel. But I do want to show you guys over here the John Deere. Got an update for you guys. We got it to run and almost drive. It was unbelievable. And right as we go to turn the camera on to see if we can get a video out of it, I found out it's not driving all of a sudden. And I looked, and in the back here there is a transmission dipstick, and look at that, bone dry. I mean, there's a little bit there, but there's just not enough. So these John Deeres take anywhere between, so here's the thing, this one takes type F ATF, but some people made the swap with these pumps to a high guard John Deere hydrostatic oil, or hydraulic oil, I'm sorry. The reason why people do that is it's a lot more easier on the pump, and especially in the wintertime, if you're using a garden tractor like this in the wintertime plowing and stuff, they say it makes it a lot, and I believe it, honestly. It helps the pump out. These pumps are original. This is an original 68, so I mean, she was made in 1968, and as far as I'm concerned, everything here is original apart from what we did with the ignition. So it's kind of a tough gig because high guard's really expensive and ATF isn't, but I'm just going to keep running ATF on this because it's only a few quarts, you know, and I just don't feel like draining the transmission right now. I want to at least get some fluid in it, get a video of it running and driving, and if it runs and drives well, I'm gonna have to say we might put a little more money into it and see if we can't actually pick up the ball and maybe use it on some stuff. I think that'd be awesome. Get some stuff rolling. So that's just where we're at with the John Deere. So close, yet so far away. It's kind of crazy. It's almost been an on-running joke with this machine. Every single time we get it to do something, the moment we turn the cameras on, something goes wrong. That I should have checked the moment I rolled this in here, and I didn't. So word to the wise, always give that a look. But without further ado, we're going to roll this out of the shop, and we're going to put old Whinnie here in. It's been a while since we've done a shop video, so stay tuned. Make sure it's neutral, brakes are out, clutch is out. Alrighty. Nice and gentle. Pretty good. I think it actually rolls a hell of a lot easier with just that one tire aired up all the way. We got the deck sitting here for the Poulan because I got brand new parts coming for it. Had a bit of an issue. The belt gave out, and with it an idler pulley, and it just locked up, and I went to go take it off, strip the bolt, and now it's just absolutely dilapidated. So I got two new idlers, blades, and a belt coming in, and we're just going to grind that off. Might be in a YouTube short, don't know. Might try to see if I can fire up the Husqvarna, of course, and the Poulan. Move the Poulan out of the way, get the Husqvarna backed up, hook a chain, pull it. Makes life a lot easier. So probably just do that. Actually, I think it would just make more sense if I just moved the Poulan, then pushed it out. So that's what we'll do. Maybe actually while we're here, I'll show you guys what's wrong with this thing. We got the choke out. Start it up. Listen for the misfire. Right there. Hear that misfire, it's starting to pop a little bit. It just needs some servicing. Oh wow, very heavy. Come on. There we go. I think that's good enough. And I think before we pull this in, clean up the shop quick. But you guys know, that's a full cast iron frame. And let me tell you, I feel every bit of it pushing it. Holy smokes. But, all right. Bit of a klutz here. Had a bit of a messy day a few days ago, and I didn't clean up. So I'm just gonna quickly wrap this up with a quick little finger snap. This is gonna be a clean floor. Boom, nice clean flooring. Now let's see if we can't take that Poulan, bring a wrap in here. Alrighty guys, we got Whinnie the Pou in the shop. And I gotta say, the seat, I'm gonna let you guys know, we're getting a new one. This is just, look at that, classic. We're gonna get a new seat, but we're gonna buy seat covers, so that doesn't happen. We're also gonna get a new, I actually have one on order. It's actually coming, a new shifter, found it on eBay. So that's awesome. But the main issue of today, the motor is misfiring a little bit, and I believe it's just a classic, needs a service. I'm gonna do an oil change on this thing, but not in today's video, not that kind of service, because when I do that, I wanna have all the mowers doing it at the same time. But you can see we've been mowing with it quite a lot, and it needs desperate TLC. So I guess what we'll start with is blowing the motor off, and then we got some fresh fuel filters sitting right in here. Nope, those are the wrong ones. I think it's top drawer. Wow, okay. This is the square bodies door panel. This here they are. Nice stuff. Good quality. Not hypos, unfortunately, but it's there. We got fuel filters and stuff. We're gonna just do a classic service, and I think we have an air filter sitting around here somewhere. And I'll look at the plugs, replace those if need be. Tie rod, axles, just a once over. So I do want to also let you guys know, while we're on the topic of the square body here, I'm kind of on the fence. I've been trying to part this thing out. Don't know if I want to do a video on it, because I don't know if it's gonna be too much. But we might try. I might. If I do, it's not for another week or two, but I might try to see if we can't get it to run and drive in its current state, and that's a crushed, whole crushed machine. But I wanted to save these door panels because these saddlebags are very, very, very sought after. At least around here. A lot of people love them. And they're just really cool. And it's a complete side panel. It still has the wood grain on the side. And I have the lock and the window system that all works. And I even have this piece right here that goes here. And I got about 4 more of these to harvest. Oh yeah, 2 actually, because the 2 others got crushed. So lots of unfortunate part stripping. But anywho, the Poulan. I'm gonna grab the vacuum cleaner and we're gonna vacuum this up, blow it up, and then keep going. Alrighty, got the vacuum cleaner right here. Get it done. Alrighty, so that wasn't too bad. Here's the fuel filter. Pretty dirty, but that's what you get for a mower that's been working so hard. Lots of cake on the frame. I'll just turn this off, stop the fuel flow, get a drain bowl, pull that filter out, replace it. Standard, classic routine. Alright, I'm just gonna pull the clips off. But I'm not gonna actually commit. But see, stuff like this, unnecessary from the past. It's just, you know, just not necessary. Actually, that might actually be necessary. I just realized that may have gone to the lighting system. Okay, we'll fix that up. But this is the kind of video it's gonna be, just a little repair video. Come on. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna pull that off a little more. But before we continue, let me get a drain bowl and some Scott's rags so we don't make a mess. Alrighty, got the Scott's rags just underneath the filter. We're looking good. Couldn't find my drain bowl though. Must have lended it out to somebody. We're just gonna pop that off. Work it nice and easy. There you go. There's always going to be residual on the pump, in the pump. So that's to be expected. There you go. Leak out whatever's in the... There we go. And that's it. Let's see, look at our directions. Arrow's facing this way, which means the fuel flow follows the arrow, which means it goes in like this. Bada bing. And bada boom. All right, it's on there nice and tight. Very good. So now we'll look at that air filter. Let's see what we're rocking here with an air filter. See how this guy's doing. Sometimes these V-twins, they like to overheat when they're being worked a lot, so it's always good if you just let them sit and cool down sometimes. Oops. there. Alright. Not bad, a little dirty. Yeah. Not bad. Let me see. I'll have to check my air filter inventory. I might have another one. This isn't bad though. This is alright to run, but I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, no biggie. Didn't have a new air filter, but we're gonna take this valve cover, geez. We're gonna take this blower shroud off and just see what's going on in here. Whenever you're servicing a mower, guys, always take this puppy off. There's might be hidden secrets in there you didn't know you had. Could be mice nests, mouse nests, geez. It could be mice, but you just never know. And this V-twin, I mean, it's been working so good for us. I just been so happy with it. So if you guys have never done this before, if you've never taken one off, it's pretty simple. I've got 2 on mine, but that's just because I lost the other 2. But there's 4. What do we got here? 4 8mm bolts for the top of the fan here, fan cover. Gonna remove that, and then you're gonna have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 4. But I think it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, including the fuel pump. But you're gonna have a few bolts. I've only got a few on here because I lost the others. But you don't have to pull them out all the way, which is kind of nice. Like halfway, and then you're good. Trying to see where that other screw is, I think. Always good to take these off. Just kind of look at what you're looking at. See what you're looking. Look at the coils and stuff. No mice. No mice, which is nice. Starter. Ah. Okay. Is the starter loose? I don't think it is. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't think it is. But we'll go through it just to make sure. Coils look good. But you see all this cake in here? See all this junk that gets into the motor? All this grass and stuff? You want to clean that stuff out. If it builds up on your heads too much, your mower will overheat a lot. This happened a lot of times with this specific mower. And it's not just with Briggs, it's Kohler, Kawasaki. I find it less on Kawasaki, but I'm not going to rule them out. Grass can just get in predictable places. Unpredictable. Yeah. So, just get in there with a rag and break it up. Might actually just, yeah, I'm going to get the vacuum cleaner. And there we go. Pretty cleaned up. Actually did pretty all right. It doesn't have to be sparkly clean, you know, it's a work machine, but you do want it to at least be able to breathe properly and cool properly. Can't really do that if it's stuffed. I'll probably give it a good blowing here. But I'm gonna cover that up. And look at this. Check it out. This is why you always check. The breather tube here came off. That's not too good. Definitely don't want that to happen. Actually, it's looking... I might have to get in there a little more. Alright, I'm going to vacuum this up real quick. We'll be right back and I'll show you. Alright, I'll show you guys right here. Go down, there we go. Check that out. Not connected. So that's not what you want, because the whole point of an air filter is to filter the air, and if this hose is just chilling out, you could be getting into some nasty stuff. We don't want that. So to put this back on, it's pretty straightforward. You can use pliers or your two hands, pinch the bottom. I know you guys can't see it at all. Pinch the bottom and then just keep pinching around up to the top. And you will feel it go right in. Always want to make sure it's in good, because we don't want that to happen again. And there we go. That's why you always check. You never know, it happens to us too. I'll give that tank a little wipe. Can't hurt. Like I said, you know, it doesn't have to be sparkly clean, especially with this rig. A guy flying around there with a plane. Been hearing them all morning. Alright, I'm gonna put the, I'm actually just gonna cover this up. I'll blow some air through it. Y'all know the drill. Putting the shroud back on here. Pretty simple. What I like to do, see all this stuff around the air filter? Clean that up. Give it a good cleaning. I'll show you here. That's less dust that it has to suck up, so it's always good. I mean, if you don't do it, it's not going to hurt the motor. It's just nice to keep the thing clean. I'm going to take some time to clean this up, guys, and then we're going to throw it back on. We'll look at the spark plugs, and then if everything seems good, move on. If not, we'll replace them. And then we'll just keep going down the line here, doing all the checks and making sure it's as good as it should be. So stay tuned. Alrighty guys, we got the blower shroud cleaned up, installed, air filter, same thing, looking good. Now we're gonna look at the spark plug and see what is going on in this motor. Always want to do this by hand, of course. Definitely charred up, a lot of carbon in that puppy. Running richer than Bill Gates, I tell you what. Look at that. Almost looks like that clear spot. For a second I thought that was lean. In fact, it might be, but that's All that black char there is rich. It's running rich, so I would expect it to be like that. Okay. Top's looking a little funky too. Alright. I mean, I've had these plugs on since last year, and you guys might be thinking, well, that's not a lot of time. It all depends on how much you're using your rig. We use this thing almost every single day. Almost. If it's not raining, it gets used. We use it for plowing, wood, salt spreading, lawn mowing, lawn maintenance, trail maintenance, off-roading, YouTube videos. I mean, we do a lot with the Poulan. And the same goes with the other mowers. So servicing happens a lot more than you think for the average bear. But because we have to service these mowers so much, I always make sure these motors are dialed in as much as possible, cleaned up, looking good, and just working, because they deserve it. You know, they need to be serviced. So to see a plug like this, you know, for about a year, that's not bad. That's about what I would expect on this motor. A huge failure with this exact specific V-twin is the choke linkage is a little bent from past me. So every single time I choke, motor turns on, and when I put the choke on back to its neutral setting where it's off, it'll slowly creep up, and when I'm mowing, it'll start to chug-a-lug-a-lug. And this is just a result of that. This is just carbon buildup, most likely from the choke, because I know this rig a lot. But you know, carbon buildup it's what it is it's richness. It's all about how much fuel and air is running in your motor. You know, you don't want to have too little, which would be lean. If you're running lean, the plug would look really a lot cleaner than that, and it would be a little too clean. It would look weird. It almost look like that, but all the way around and a little whiter. You don't want to have lean because that can melt your pistons or do other not so good things. But you always want to have richness if you were to choose between the two, because at least it means it's getting fuel and air. It's just getting too much of either one or both. So this is just, that's all that is. And you see how I'm wiping it all off really easy here? I'll show you. It's just kind of coming right off. That's just all that carbon buildup. Yeah. I got fresh plugs. I might just throw some fresh plugs in here. I'm gonna keep these around. I mean, I don't know though. These are actually still pretty good. I don't know. I want to look at that gap. That gap looks a little suspicious. It almost looks like it's just not enough gap. I really don't know. Alrighty guys, this is actually pretty good. I compared it to some of my new ones, and it's actually the same gap, so it's all good. Sometimes aftermarket plugs don't come with the right gap. Always keep an eye on that. Just kind of going through with some light grit sandpaper and just making it nice and good. It doesn't have to be perfect. And so back in the motor it goes. By hand, of course. Always get the first few threads in there. And then ratchet away. And there you go. I'm going to clean this up here. There's a lot of wire to be dangling around. We got some zip ties. We're going to make something happen. In the meantime, I'm going to do the other side off camera, and I'll turn the camera back on, of course, if I see something interesting. And then we'll move on to the tie rod and steering system, grease the axles, and we'll call it a day for this old puppy. So stay tuned. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Told you I'd turn the camera on if I found something. If you guys want to see a perfect, accurate look of what it means for your mower to run lean, that's what you're looking at. See how clean it is? I haven't touched this thing. Came out of the block just like this. When you have two cylinders doing two different things, you got an issue. I knew this motor wasn't running right. I want to say last week it started acting up. If one cylinder is backfiring, and that one cylinder is the only one keeping your mower alive, you can pretty much guarantee you'll obviously have, I mean, you know, you'll obviously have an issue, but you can pretty much guarantee you're going to be looking at one plug's having a different scenario than the other, because only one cylinder is firing properly, the other cylinder isn't. This thing hasn't been firing properly for a week, and I've been using it about a few days. Definitely been using it. So I'm glad I was able to take this off. So I'm hoping we just fixed this issue, because these mowers will misfire if the air filter is not connected properly, if the fuel filter is clogged, which this one looked pretty gunky. So yeah, and of course, if your carburetor's dirty, it's not sending enough fuel, that'll make it misfire. Coil's going bad, that'll make it. I mean, there's so many things we can go down the list, but I know that is not good. That is lean. That you do not want to have that. And this is definitely the cylinder that has been misfiring. But now that we know that, we can clean this thing up as much as we can and kind of see how the motor sounds. It's all in the sound of the motor. When you rev it up, when it idles, what's it doing? It should purr like a kitten. If it's getting chompy or if it's backfiring a little bit, you know the backfire is coming from obviously this cylinder, which wasn't burning any fuel. So fuel was coming in, fuel was leaving, and it was getting hot in the exhaust and catching fire in the exhaust, thus giving you a backfire. That's what happens, and this is why we service the units. If I kept running it like this, chances are I would be in here a little longer than just a service. I'd probably be tearing down that head and playing with some valves or playing with some other stuff that I wouldn't want to do. So you always want to make sure, take the time out of the week, look at your motor, and just kind of do a once over. This is why it's important. We're going to clean this up, put this back in the motor. I'm going to actually run this through a spark test first. I want to make sure it's sparking, and if it passes the spark test, then we'll throw it back in and kind of button the rest of this mower up and see how it sounds. But I don't want this mower leaving if this cylinder's still not firing. Without further ado, I'm going to keep continuing dolling this motor up, and we'll see you guys when we'll see you. Alrighty guys, we've got the spark tester ready to rock and roll. You see here we have a gap where we can set our gap for spark. There's a measurement on it, and we plug one side to the boot of the coil. This side goes to the spark plug. We're going to see if the coil is firing on this, and if it is, then we're going to check to see if the spark plug is working. I got the other boot disconnected too, so it should just spin. Alright, so the coil is very much working, which is very good. Take the spark plug out again. Gosh, I gotta zip tie these cables. One's the choke and one's the throttle. So now I'm gonna connect the spark plug to the boot. Alright, spark plug's working. So that tells me fuel delivery issue, or we have some sort of air fuel error. Or it could be internal. You never know. Your valve could not be doing its job. But I know that's not the issue with this unit. I know it's a fuel and air issue because it happened once before last year. Okay. Plug both cylinders back in. Now let's see if it runs any better than when we walked in here. Nope, still kind of misfiring. All right, so that's going to be a carburetor takeoff gig. So we're going to want to do that. I'm probably going to do that really quickly off camera. I don't want this video to be too long, and I've done so many videos on this carburetor on YouTube. But, let's do a finger snap and try it again. Oh, that wasn't too good. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, you might notice the engine cowl is off. This became quite, pardon my language, a bastard. I was fighting this thing tooth and nail. The valve adjustments were off. It's 5 thousandths intake and 6 thousandths exhaust. That's your measurements. This side, piece of cake, no problem. This side, every single time I tightened it down to the right, you want to make it so it's got a little bit of give, but also a little bit of catch. You don't want it too tight, but not too loose, right there in the middle. And I got it to that sweet spot, but every time I went to go tighten it, it would loosen. I almost thought there was a hardware issue, but it actually ended up being that the Torx bit I was using wasn't grabbing all the way, so it actually ended up just slipping instead of actually tightening. So now that I got that settled away, this thing sounds like better than when I first got this mower. Like this is awesome. Just listen to this. Throttle response is better. It starts on a dime. I should have known better though, because for a few weeks it's been doing this thing where it'll crank, even on a hot day after being used. It would crank, and then I would need choke to start it. That is usually almost always a telltale sign your valve adjustment's off. I'm so happy I brought this into the shop, because if you run loose or overly tightened valves like that for a long period of time, you will do damage to your motor. We had our twin cylinder Briggs actually lock up on us, and this is what happened with the cam. There's no cam there. It broke right off. This is what happened when it was actually loosened and we didn't do anything about it. This is the push rod ended up getting so loose and slacky, it actually came undone from the rocker arm, tried pushing its way out, and then ended up hitting the wall over the overhead valve cover, and ended up trying to go back in, and when it did slide back in, it caught right on the cam in just the right spot, and it went right into the motor, broke the cam right off, locked the left cylinder, and it just, like, the motor was just done. That's why it locked up. But all that just to say, whew, I am happy. I've been in here for at least 4 hours messing with this off camera. Thought it was as simple as a carburetor job, and although the carburetor did actually have some dirt in it, it actually wasn't that. It was this cylinder's valve adjustment. This one was right on the money. That one, which makes sense, remember that was the one that was lean, that one was too tight by a mile. It was, well, I shouldn't say that. The intake was too loose, the exhaust was too tight. So I ended up making it the right adjustment, and now it runs like a top. So we got our 24 horses back and installed in this unit. So what I'm gonna do now is button this puppy up. We're gonna grease the axle shafts, take the steering bar out, and I'm gonna show you guys, I should start this on YouTube, a thing called trail tricks. We're gonna show you a trail trick on how to fix that T-bar really easy, even if you're out on the trail or out mowing your lawn. So stay tuned. Alrighty guys, whoo! Looking dialed in. Got the cowl on. Now I'm going to show you the little trail trick here. What you do is you just get your pins off, drop one side, get to the other side, drop that pin. Of course, having pliers on you is always a help. But the long and the short of it is, tie rod's bent. See that? Alright. So, we grabbed a rubber mallet. Could be a hammer, could be a rock, could be any sort of, anything you could use as a hammer, okay? Now what you're gonna do, let me get a stand rock in here for you guys, is you're pretty much gonna use that item, your hammer. You're gonna hammer on one side, hammer on the other side, so it should be on the ground like that. Right, you're gonna hover over that one spot where it's kinked, so it's kinked right about here. So I'm gonna hover over it. And look at that, almost, that was actually almost dead straight. That was a little hard though, let's see. You don't wanna do it too much, because you could actually make it like a U. We don't wanna do that. And that's not bad. I mean, for a field fix, it's still a little bit right here. Doesn't have to be perfect though, I mean. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's good enough. Of course, guys, one huge thing you should always do if you want to rock crawl with a mower like this and you can't get a hold of a beefed up tie rod, it's all right, but as long as you have a welder, you're good. Right here, what you can do is, these are too short to weld a gusset underneath, so what you could do is you could purposely give it a small bend and then weld from point A to point B some 1/8 inch steel, 1/4 inch thick steel, something strong, and then do the same thing on the other side. And then the only thing about that is you want to make sure that you're doing it as flat and as straight as possible without losing too much of your tie rod, because you only get one chance before you have to grind it off and try again. A huge upgrade we do with these mowers is a cast iron tie rod. Those are a lot more heavier duty, and that's not required. You don't have to weld and stuff. But we haven't done that upgrade with the Poulan because, you know, it does off-roading but doesn't do much rock crawling, and it's our mower, so it's kind of the middle guy. But I might do the upgrade at some point. Anyways, so that is the trick. We are now going to put this puppy back on. Let's see if I can do this without looking. There's one side. These don't come with the mower, but I swapped them over to these because the other pins were just not good enough. That's good. And then we're gonna head over to the other side here. Nice, nailed it. Oops, sorry about that. See how much that was off? So we're gonna toe that in. There we go. These tie rods are very easy to bend. All you gotta do is oversteer one way. Wow, that's actually a pretty dead nut. Wheels straight. Tires looking straight. Nice. All right, last thing we're gonna do is grease these axles up and then throw some grease or some lube. I got some liquid wrench. We're gonna throw down the steering shaft, probably on the clutch too, and that's it, we're done. So let's get to it. Alrighty guys, y'all know the deal. Grease nipple on the axle. I usually take these off, but I've already done that. And I've already done pretty recently. I've already removed the axle shaft and made sure this section of it is greased up. It's also just been a long day. There we go. That's all good. Grease nipple on the other side. If you guys are off-roading on your mowers and you suddenly notice after a few mud romps the steering gets tight or it gets really stiff, this or WD-40 works amazing. Watch this. I'm gonna take it, put it on ball bearing there, right on this plate, your steering plate. Just go crazy with it. Right on the shaft. And then we're gonna go underneath the mower. Nice. And that's pretty much it. Does the clutch need something? I don't think so. It's actually working pretty all right. Yeah, I might give it a little shot right here. Across the drive pulley, there is a clutch arm. And after a lot of grass mowing, well, that feels a lot better. That can get pretty stiff. Whew! Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for today's video. We're gonna button the hood up and drive it out, and then we'll end the video. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Dialed in. And we are ready to roll. Alright, let's see how the old unit goes here. Start it up, you know how we do. Alrighty guys, things looking beautiful. I can't wait till we get the new seat, the new shifter, and we get this puppy cleaned up. But that is it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I know we promised a lot of this off-roading stuff, and don't worry, there's a reason why I pulled it in the shop. So rest assured there will be off-roading content coming to you, but I figured, you know what, it's just something we haven't done in a while. Why not bring you guys along with me? So, you know, I'm so glad we got what we needed to get fixed, and these lights are looking great. I mean, wow, just looking so good, looking so good. So without further ado, once again, I hope you guys liked today's video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We are going to be pumping out some content for you guys, so if you want to see it, subscribe and check out the Patreon and Instagram. A lot of content there too. And remember, these videos are going on Patreon before they go anywhere else. So if you want to check them out early, go to Patreon. And with all that said and done, I hope you guys stay safe, and we'll catch you guys next time. This is Impossible Mowers out.